Continuing on a theme from our last presentation with Facebook about user acquisition, one of the most important things when you're doing direct user acquisition through Facebook is that you know the value of the customers that you have coming in and the value that they provide to your games. And SocialClix is one of the companies that actually are experts in that arena. And so for our lunch session, I'd like to introduce Leah and AMAN, who's going to tell us about how to maximize ROI, or at least your KPIs for the value of your incoming users in Facebook user acquisition. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to you, Leah, and good luck.
Thank you very much. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you're enjoying your lunch, so bon appetit if you're eating while you're here at the presentation. As David said, my name is Leah AMAN, and I am the marketing manager for a company called SocialClix. So today I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about mobile advertising on Facebook, and then what we really specialize in at SocialClix, which is optimization for lifetime ROI. Later on, about halfway through the presentation, I'm going to ask you guys to be a little bit interactive with me. Feel free to jump in and give your own opinions a little bit later. And test kind of your instincts on advertising and the best ways to kind of excite potential users into becoming users of your games and your applications. So first of all, a little bit more about SocialClix. We are a group of social media evangelists. We're lucky enough to be able to take our hobby with us to work every day. We really specialize in high-quality user acquisition at scale on the Facebook platform through advertising, and of course, lifetime ROI optimization. We serve billions of ad impressions every week for game publishers and developers throughout the world, and we work with some of the world's leading companies. Here are a few behind me, just to name a couple, from BigPoint, Wargaming, Plarium, etc. So, what are we really going to cover today? At first, I'm going to do a little bit of a brief introduction on Facebook advertising in general and kind of ask the question and hopefully answer a bit about it. What is all the fuss about advertising on Facebook? Why is it such a great platform, and how can we utilize it to be really successful in gaining high-quality users? Next, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about mobile advertising on Facebook, the different options for mobile advertising, and whether or not it's really just for user acquisition, or can you do more to help optimize for lifetime ROI beyond just helping to get conversions and installs. Finally, I'm going to give you a little bit of an insider tips and tricks of the trade regarding the optimization process itself in building your own advertisements. And tell you a little bit about how we go about doing that as well. And finally, some key takeaways. So first of all, Facebook advertising. What is the fuss all about? So at SocialClix, we see one of the biggest advantages of advertising in Facebook is the sheer size of the platform and people who are willing to play games and applications. From over 250 million players of games on Facebook, 20% of users playing games each and every day. $2 billion were paid out last year to game developers from Facebook last year alone. And of course, not only are people playing games, but they're monetizing and they're paying inside the games. So as of Q1 of 2013, we've seen about a 25% increase in the number of monthly paying players as well. So at SocialClix, we utilize the full plethora of all the available ad types on the Facebook platform, each of which are very, very versatile, and that you can choose the right campaign for you to make sure you're hitting your marketing and advertising goals. Everything from page posts, marketplace ads, something you might be more familiar with as the advertisements in the right-hand column, to more customized targeting options such as custom audiences, and of course, mobile options such as mobile app install ads. Another thing that we take full advantage of, and I would encourage you to do the same, is the many different targeting possibilities, which are very unique to the Facebook platform, and we see really powerful options with these. You can go far beyond just the age of a user, the gender of a user, to location and even very specific location. And then, of course, later on, I'll talk a little bit about the targeting options that are very unique to mobile that we see being very powerful. So if all goes well, the optimizing goes very, very well, and you reach the right users, you end up with fantastic advertising, talking to the right people at the right time, in the right place, all over Facebook, from the newsfeed to the right-hand column, etc. So a few things that are really hot topics right now that people are very interested in are, of course, Facebook Exchange, which allows you to retarget to users who maybe took a look at your games and applications off of the Facebook platform and then have logged in. Custom audiences, which I've already mentioned, and we'll spend a little bit more time on that later today. What these allow you to do is very powerfully target and retarget to past and current users that you have had that you would like to prompt to take very specific actions in the near future. Using custom audiences, we are able to help you really tailor your advertising campaigns in a way that reaches very, very segmented audiences. Partner categories, a very, very new thing on Facebook, which also utilizes third-party data and information and allows you to target to groups of individuals who are most likely to take specific actions that you're hoping to see. And finally, what leads to kind of the main part of our presentation, mobile ads on Facebook. Everybody's talking about it. So, mobile advertising. It's for user acquisition, right? Right, but it's also for much, much more. And today I'd like to talk to you and encourage you to kind of utilize mobile advertising on Facebook, not only to acquire high-quality users, which you definitely can do at scale, but also to utilize this tool for the entire life cycle with your customer. Get them engaged and get them coming back for more. So why mobile on Facebook, and what makes it such a powerful tool for you guys? Well, over half of all Facebook users use Facebook on their mobile devices today. Last quarter alone, 25 million downloads were made off of Facebook mobile app install ads. So people really are acquiring users at an alarming pace on this platform. And finally, 25% of all mobile display ads are on Facebook, so it's really a shame not to be utilizing this. And where your mobile ads are displayed on Facebook, the mobile newsfeed, is where people spend over 80% of their time, so the majority of it. So we'll take a little bit of a close look at the different ad types and what we at SocialClix will recommend that you use them for. These are very, very versatile, and of course we encourage you to kind of take your own goals and targets into consideration and be a little bit flexible with them. So mobile app install ads, just a few facts about them. They're bright, they're colorful, they feature in the mobile newsfeed. We're seeing CTRs on mobile app install ads of well beyond 2%, up to 3%, et cetera. So really, really high CTRs that we're seeing with the ads, as well as conversion rates. One great thing about this is this really makes it very easy for your users and potential new users to download your application and start playing immediately, because they drive directly to Google Play or the App Store. So there's not a lot of middle room for users to get lost along the way. Now, before they're driven to these app stores, users see on their advertisement kind of a call to action, install now, which is great at prompting reactions from them. So what mobile app install ads can be used for, and we're using at a wonderful rate, is really incredible high-quality user acquisition at scale. Past mobile app install ads, we're using Open Graph sponsored stories. So one small note that I will make is that it's important to have already some sort of an established user base in order to really help the virality and the success of these stories. Why? Because what they allow you to do is take advantage of and leverage the actions that your current users are making in order to prompt their friends to do exactly the same thing. So one really great thing about this is it can really help the virality of your game or your application take off now, even if you haven't yet hit the charts. It can really help expose you to a much larger base of potential users. So not only with Open Graph sponsored stories will you be able to drive very high quality user acquisition at scale, but you'll also increase your virality today. So we've covered a little bit about mobile app install ads, a little bit about Open Graph sponsored stories, and now something that people are talking a lot about, unpublished page posts. So these are very similar to page posts, only you don't have to spam your current users or your current fans. So they're actually not published in the same way. These will appear, once again, in the mobile newsfeed, where all mobile advertising on Facebook appears. And we see this as a very, very flexible ad type, which allows you to do different things and achieve different targets with your Facebook mobile advertising. We suggest all of these different ad types for user acquisition. They're fantastic at acquiring high quality at scale, but this one can definitely go beyond that. In the unpublished page post ads, you can promote a link, you can promote your game or your application directly. You can also promote a product, an event perhaps that you're hosting, or an offer to a current or a past user that you'd like to be seeing this once again and coming back for your game for more, or you can ask a question. When you take advantage of all of these different options, you're really going beyond just kind of acquiring your users. So once you've acquired them, you can use ad types such as unpublished page posts to really increase your lifetime ROI by engaging with your fans. So something that we really promote at SocialClix is definitely utilizing these different advertising tools and options in order to acquire users, but also to continually engage them. Don't forget about them past the conversion point. On mobile, on Facebook, you also get a lot of different targeting options that we utilize on a very regular basis. These allow you to kind of hyper-segment and target your users on mobile. In addition to more traditional targeting options, you have Wi-Fi only options for heavier games and applications. You can target to brands of specific phones, smartphones or feature phones, different operating systems, or concentrate whether one or the other is more important to you, depending if it's smartphone or tablet. So once you've selected your mobile targeting, we can help you select more traditional possibilities for targeting to layer on top of that, even further optimizing your targeting and segmentation of your target audience. So targeting is definitely one major part of the optimization process, whether you're advertising on mobile and desktop. And as I pointed out earlier, these are one of the major things that you can take advantage of. So definitely utilize all of the different options in targeting in order to best optimize your ads. If you're unsure how to do this, companies such as SocialClix can definitely help you succeed. Take advantage of things like custom audiences that allow you to really interact with users perhaps who have not been playing regularly anymore, or people who have played other games in the past. And then, of course, don't just acquire your users on mobile. Engage with them. Keep them coming back to your game for more. Don't only convert and then forget afterwards. So something that I've said we've really specialized in, something that we work very hard on, is optimization for lifetime ROI. So I'm going to give you a few tips that you can use in your own advertising, and you could work with partners as well. And hopefully now I'll get you to participate a little bit. These are things, some of them a little bit quirky, that we've found that help along the way. So first of all, we've seen proper optimization of ads can double, triple, quadruple, et cetera, the lifetime ROI of your advertisements. So not utilizing the proper optimization is really kind of a shame. And you're much more likely to kind of be shooting blind with your advertising. So don't waste your Facebook advertising spend. Really utilize it as best as possible. Okay, so at SocialClix, we have something we call the ideal ad. This is our goal ad that we create while we're advertising. It contains the right text, the right image, the right targeting options, and then of course it's only created after A/B testing. Whenever you're creating advertising or with whatever partners you're working with, whether it's SocialClix or another company in the field, make sure that A/B testing is key. Use long-tail keywords in your targeting. Don't only go for obvious groups, okay? While long-tail keywords might help you get to very large target audiences, long-tail keywords will help you get to much higher quality, smaller segmentations of that population of individuals. Finally, make sure to watch for exhaustion, especially if you're working to push many installs a day. These ads can become very exhausted very quickly, so be creative with your creative. continuously change it up and get new stuff up on a regular basis. And finally, something that we genuinely encourage everybody to use is dynamic post-acquisition tracking. What this allows you to do is see that users are really meeting the goals that you're hoping they will meet. You might be getting many, many installs, but not having the type of monetization you hope to see. So before you even start your advertising campaigns, make sure you have very clearly defined goals for your users past the conversion point. At SocialClix, this is something that we can really help you focus on and help you track to make sure that your audience is achieving these goals, whether it be a certain deposit amount, playing a game so often on a regular basis, or reaching a specific level in the game. So, beyond targeting, beyond tracking, and once we started working on the ideal ad, there are a couple of other parts that we need to include. First of all, we need text. So I'm going to ask you guys a little bit. We have a couple of examples up here, okay? The first example for text that could be featured in an ad is, play this incredible game for hours. The other option is, you can play this game for hours. Who prefers A? Nice. B? Ooh, a couple. Okay. Well, those of you who preferred A, sorry, B, users tend to prefer questions. They find it more intriguing. They kind of ask themselves, okay, well, maybe I really can, okay? And they get very excited about it. So commands, my apologies, not questions, are much better than statements. The second option, looking for your next challenge, or this game is challenging. Who prefers A? Lots of hands for A. And B? Okay. Sorry, guys, for B. Much like commands, users tend to prefer questions as well. Again, it's often much more engaging than just to be told information, to be asked about it. So the very basic rules with text are questions better than statements, commands better than statements. Just think that absolutely anything is usually going to be better at pushing traffic for you guys than statements. So be a little bit exciting and a bit compelling when you're creating your advertising text. Okay, so the next thing, once you've got text and you've got multiple options to kind of check and test out with all kinds of different targeting options as well, we need to get the image just right. So here I'm going to take a look at several different images. Each of one we've found highlights something that really intrigues users on average. So up on the wall we have two options, A or B. Who prefers A? One. And B? Okay, nice, nice, nice. Good instincts. So feel free to play with shapes in your advertising. Because with this advertising, your background is going to be white, having a character kind of popping out of the advertising often pushes a lot more traffic for you than just kind of having everything square. It really stands out. The next one, A or B? This one might be a little bit tougher. A? We've got a few. Nice. B? Okay, split, about 50-50. Well, on this one, we've actually found that out of these two ads, the most likely to be more successful would be B. People tend to be intrigued by menus and numeric representations. Whether it's a menu that's featured in your game, something that highlights the options available to players and users when they're in-game, or if it highlights points that they can achieve. All of these things help to intrigue users and get them to click and convert. Next we have A and B. Okay, fair enough, 50-50. All right, well here, the most likely to drive the largest quantity of traffic would be A. Over the last year, we're now allowed to put advertising in text, and we've seen at SocialClix a major difference in the numbers with ads that feature a call to action or ads that feature text telling users a little bit about what's going on in the game in that image. Next we have A. 1, 2, okay, quite a few. And B? Okay, really, really nice. A, users like groups of characters much more than they like individuals on average. We found that Perhaps it gives people a feeling of options, of who they can play during the game, but users tend to get pretty excited and are much more likely to click in our data when you feature groups of characters. That doesn't mean never, ever, ever feature an individual character. That definitely works too. But when possible, utilize groups of characters rather than one individual. One last one over here, A and B. Okay, so this one's really all about color. We've found that using reds, greens, and purples specifically really excite people into clicking and trying a game out. All color is great in general whenever you can have something that's bright and vibrant, and particularly in your mobile advertising, since images are so large in the mobile newsfeed, feel free to get a little bit creative with color. People like it and it really stands out. So just a couple of additional tips beyond what I've just mentioned. Make sure you're using descriptive images. Don't mislead potential users. If it's possible, utilize images both in your advertising and on your landing page. We see that this really helps post-click to the actual conversion and the actual install afterwards. People like consistency. Next, keep your backgrounds clean and simple. On mobile, you can go a little bit more crazy since the images are larger than what you'll see in desktop advertising, or at least in the right-hand column. However, clean and simple images that feature characters and information tend to be more likely to be clicked on. Finally, utilize arrows or feature highlighted actions to give people a feel of what's actually going to be happening in the game, what they can actually do. Finally, another option is to have your characters actually facing text. It naturally kind of makes users go, well, what's in that way if the picture's even looking there? And my last tip regarding images of the day is kind of an in-office joke. We genuinely are not sure why this is the case, but it tends to be true. When all else fails, if you've tried everything and you're not entirely sure what to do, blue hair. People absolutely love blue hair. So if you've got a character, if you can do something with blue hair, make sure to embrace as much flowing blue locks as you possibly can. Okay, so here is just kind of a full visual example of the good, the bad, and the ugly, okay? On the left-hand column, and this is really important for me to mention at this point, you don't have to utilize absolutely all of these tips in absolutely all of your ads, okay? On average, individuals using these individual tips will definitely help push more traffic. But over here on the most left-hand side, we have ads that are very clear with very obvious backgrounds. They feature a couple of menus or options or numeric representations. And then as you go across, you end up with ads with photos and images that are just really kind of a jumble of everything, and it's a bit overwhelming to the user. So while you can definitely put more imagery and be a little bit busier in mobile advertising, don't forget that simple is also a real positive thing. Okay, so a few key takeaways. At SocialClix, we really encourage you to utilize mobile for the entire customer life cycle. We don't want you to stop engaging with your users the moment they install or the moment they convert. Make sure, whether you're partnered with us or going alone, that your advertising is really well optimized according to data and specific tests and specific goals that you have in mind. Utilize dynamic tracking. Okay, feel free to partner with a company like SocialClix if you're kind of what's going on up here and you're still unsure about everything I've spoken about today. And of course, never forget, when absolutely all else fails, blue hair. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Leah. We have some time for questions. Are there questions from the audience about blue hair or anything else in this deck? Wow. You've left people speechless.
If it was clear, wonderful.
All right, thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you, guys.
So